Hi everyone! It's been a little while since I've done a health video, but working makes me feel good, and I just did a video all about fad diets on my business page, so I was fired up and inspired and thought that I would pop on here to talk about a topic that is super popular: weight loss and weight loss resistance. So if you guys are watching this on the replay, go ahead or if you're watching it live, go ahead and comment below. But for those of you who are on my personal page, I know you're following my personal story. So before I talk about business stuff, I'm going to share some updates. So my port placement has healed super well. And just close your eyes for a second because I'm going to show you an update. It's covered up really nicely. 3, 2, 1. So there it is. Kind of still looks gross, but look, there's not a ton of bruising, and I can move my arms all around, all sorts of stuff today. I'm feeling really good. So I was really surprised at how quickly I healed. But you know, the body is an amazing thing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So like I said, I love to talk about these things, and weight loss resistance is something that people really struggle with. So I'm going to just talk about a couple little things that you can do if this is you. So number one is to go back to the basics. So I had a client that was getting really frustrated. She came to me actually, and her one of her main goals was weight loss. And I said, okay, I'm going to focus on your gut, but hopefully that will be a happy side effect for you. So she really, really wanted to lose weight. She hadn't lost weight in like 15 years. So we started working on her gut. We did some tests and things like that. And sure enough, she lost like 15 pounds. Boom, really fast. Then she stalled and she started getting really frustrated. So we started kind of tweaking things. And ultimately, I had to go back and be like, are you doing these fundamental basic things? So number one is go back to the basics. Like, are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough fiber? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you moving enough? Are you hitting 10,000 steps a day? Are you super stressed? Like, those might seem like super small things, but in the grand scheme of things, if one of those pillars is not functioning right, like stress alone can make you maintain weight. So if you're chronically stressed and you're releasing those stress hormones, cortisol is going to pack the fat on the belly. Like, that's what it does. So if you're struggling with weight loss resistance and some of those basic fundamental things are not there, like water is an amazing example. I always think that I'm getting enough water, and I think I get way more water than a lot of people do. But when I actually prioritize hydration, like for example, before my port placement the day before, I was like, I'm going to be so hydrated because I can't eat or drink before the surgery after midnight the night before. So I was like, I don't want to wake up hydrated, and I don't want to be super thirsty before the surgery. So I'm going to overdo it the day before. And I did, and I was fine because of that. So anytime that I over prioritize it because of situations like that, I realize how much I'm not actually drinking on a daily basis and how much more I could be drinking. So little things like that, like if you're stalling and you're hitting a wall, why are you hitting the wall? Like, what are the basic foundational things that maybe you could be improving upon little by little every single day? Just start with the basics. Number 2 is to invest in the information. So maybe you are doing all the right things, and maybe some things have worked for you in the past, and you just really, truly are stuck. You are drinking a ton of water, you are eating a ton of fiber, you are moving, you are sleeping, you are doing all these awesome, great things for your body, but something's not right, and you just know it's not right. You go to the doctor, you're told that it is normal and all your tests are normal and there's nothing wrong with you and it's all in your head. And those are a lot of the clients that I get is my doctor told me it was normal, and then we do some functional testing and find out that actually your gut is totally messed up and it needs a lot of support. And so maybe it's time, if you're that person where you've tried literally everything, no diet works, nothing, maybe it's time to invest in some testing. Hey Lisa, thanks. So testing can be a little pricey, and that is frustrating in the functional medicine world. It's not covered by insurance. It is out of pocket. But that's where like your value system comes in. Like, is your health really a priority? Is it not a priority? How much you really want the change to happen? Do you really need somebody to tell you? Because like I said, are you doing the foundational things? If not, start there. If you're already doing the foundational things, you might need somebody to come in with a fresh perspective, to do some testing, to help coach you through it. Everybody needs a coach. Coaches need coaches, athletes need coaches, doctors need doctors. Like, everybody needs somebody at some point. So that might be a consideration for you if it's really a frustration in your life. So go back to the basics and consider investing in the information. The third thing, and this is one of the steps that may happen if you invest in the information, is to support your liver. So you can do that in lots of different ways. You can do that through eating things like onions and garlic and mushrooms and lots of vegetables. You can do it with tinctures like milk thistle and chlorophyll, and little drink mixes that include, milk thistle, chlorophyll, and tart cranberry juice and things like that. You can support your liver through coffee enemas, which can be particularly beneficial for weight loss because you are clearing out any toxicity and buildup in your colon, but you're also stimulating your liver to release the toxins. And so to kind of get things flowing. And so if you are really toxic, that can really affect your weight as well. So coffee enemas can actually be very beneficial for some people with weight loss. So that is something to consider as well. But generally that point would be supporting your liver. Another thing to consider with supporting your liver, teas can be very, very powerful. So I think it's the brand Traditional Medicines, and it's called the Everyday Detox Tea. That is a great tea. And it has a lot of different herbs in it that are supportive of your liver. And I think it's very, very effective. So those are a lot of different ways that you can support your liver. But basically, if your liver is overburdened, stopped up, so to speak, basically, I don't want to make you think that your liver is like storing toxicity, but we need it to be working optimally to break everything down and flush it out of the system. So we definitely, if you're struggling with weight loss resistance, you want to be supporting your liver. We want to be supporting it anyway, right? Because we're bombarded with pesticides and chemicals and VOCs, like all sorts of crazy stuff nowadays that we don't have ultimately 100% control over. We can control a lot, but we can't control everything. So we want to support our liver. So if you're struggling with weight loss resistance, go back to the basics. Maybe consider test, don't guess, diving into investing in the information. And number 3 is to help support your liver. Number 4, and this might be obvious, but maybe not, is to ditch the sugar. So sugar is in so many different things. I mean, it's in ketchup, it's in like kielbasa meat, it's in lunch meat. I mean, it's like literally everywhere. My mom was talking to me last night. I was at their house for dinner, and she was talking to me about she and my dad have really tried to eliminate sugar recently. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much sugar is in, how many things sugar is in. And I mean, my parents already ate super healthy. So she noticed that just this little change, there were a couple other things that she's been tweaking, but just a couple little tweaks, and one of the major ones was ditching sugar. My mom is super skinny. She lost weight, and she hasn't been doing anything else. She's not like adding on crazy, exercise or anything like that. She did add infrared saunas. So if you're thinking about, supporting your liver and things like that, that's another great thing that you can incorporate is infrared sauna therapy. So ditching the sugar is a really big one, and that requires a little bit of effort. And it may cause a little bit of withdrawal too. You might get some headaches, you might get some fatigue, you might get some cravings, but those usually go away within 1 to 2 weeks. But that can have a really big impact as well. And it requires a little bit of effort because you literally have to read the ingredient label on everything, because you will be shocked at how much stuff sugar is in. And it's also going to require a little education because it's not always listed as sugar. Like sometimes it's maltodextrin or fructose or whatever. There's so many different ways that it can be listed. So just Google a list, kind of familiarize yourself with it, and then look at every single label. That can be a game changer. Seriously, like literal game changer. So try that one. So go back to the basics, invest in information, test, don't guess, clean your liver, ditch the sugar, and then finally, what I always promote discover your nutrition. So you have to figure out what foods work for your body. If you are eating a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet and that doesn't work for your body, you're not going to lose weight, or you might lose weight and then you gain it all back. So you cannot just say that this fad diet worked for my best friend over here and it's going to work for me. It might for like 2 days, but you have to figure out what foods actually work for your body. Now, again, you can go back to test, don't guess. You can get some food sensitivities testing. You can work with a practitioner. We can kind of nail it in for you, the exact nutrition that will be working for your body. Or you can do it yourself by eliminating a lot of foods, taking copious notes, knowing what to look for in terms of food sensitivities, because a lot of times people don't realize that it's not all gut related. There can be skin stuff, brain fog, digestive issues, just you name it. There are all sorts of places in your body where food sensitivity reactions can occur. So if you want to make sure that you have a list that you can systematically food journal and check it off, and then what you would do is you would eliminate like the major trigger foods. So here are some of the main ones that you can eliminate: wheat, dairy, sugar, soy, grains potentially. Gluten definitely. I think I said that one first. And then you can systematically take, joint pain is a great one, Lisa. So joint pain, pain throughout your body, really. Migraines is a really, really big one. A lot of people don't think that migraines are associated with food, but they absolutely can be. I've had people that have struggled with migraines for years, and then they change their diet and boom, the migraines go away. Depression, anxiety, mood disorders, highly relatable to what you're eating, because your brain and your mood and your energy and all these different things are affected by your microbiome. And what is your microbiome affected by? Those are the gut bugs. Those are affected by what we eat, because what we eat feeds them, and then they feed and fuel the rest of our body, and really have an impact on how our body expresses itself. So that's really, really important. So discovering your nutrition and what foods actually work for you, and not basing it on any guru's opinion or any book or any fad or Susie Q's diet over here, is so important. You have to figure out what works for you, and sometimes that takes time. But again, if you really want to, you can test, don't guess. So you can do some stool testing, some food sensitivity testing, and you can kind of skip some of the steps, but there is still some work to be done. There is still some effort to be had when it comes to changing your entire lifestyle. But I wanted to encourage you today that weight loss resistance is difficult, but it's not impossible. So always you can dig a little deeper, but you can start with the basics for sure. Invest in the information as to why your body's functioning the way it is. So test, don't guess. Clean your liver, support it, make sure it's working well. Maybe get some of that detox tea or do some coffee enemas. Ditch the sugar, takes a lot of effort, read those labels. And finally, discover your nutrition. What foods actually work for your body, because when it's functioning at its highest level, you will naturally lose weight and you'll be able to maintain a healthy weight. If you're not able to lose weight, something is not functioning properly. So we got to dig deep and figure out what that is. Okay, guys, I hope you have an awesome day. Comment below with any questions. Thanks for joining me. Bye.